Anything in particular you want to work on?
I just wanted to show the basic concepts of framing and and stuff like that. So he's going to come in. He's not even going to tell me how he's going to be doing some kind of slashing or jabbing, because you're not going to see or the people. I mean, someone might attack like that.
Ice pick attacks, from what I understand about like CCTV reviews, this overhand ice pick grip happens like a quarter of the time.
Yeah.
What we see, but it's not like this necessarily. You see it a couple different ways. It might be more like this, right?
Yeah, you see this like I call it the prison style sewing machine, or the sewing machine, or like this, just hammer fisting down, grabbing onto the clothes.
The other area where ice pick happens more when you see it in videos is when an edge weapon is deployed on the ground. So a lot of times things come out. I don't control how it happens, it just happens here.
Right down here, you've got me in my guard.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden you come out with a knife.
And now I'm here.
Oh shit!
It does happen, but it's almost rarely what you see is distance. Knives almost always, at least from what I've seen, what I've learned, they usually employ pretty close.
Yeah. If I see it way back there, then obviously I might do something about it.
Yeah.
I would hope you would. Yeah. But the knife comes out. The first thing I want to do is frame up, and I don't want to stay like go ahead and just sewing machine. I don't want to just stay like this, because then he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna get around me. So I like to go. I usually say frame, frame, frame. And I'm not saying rule of 3, I'm just throwing that out there. Frame, 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 2 on 1. So frame, frame, 2 on 1. I came out like this a couple times, and I'm doing, it's not like an X block, it's like, oh shit, and I'm hollowing out, boom, boom, because I have to catch up with what's going on. Otherwise, I would suggest go straight to the 2 on 1. But you have to catch up, process what's going on. So a lot of times this is processing, and hopefully you process it before he shifts to another direction of attack. So I'm processing, oh shit, and then I come in and I bury my body, my chest against his arm. I'm digging in, and then we've done the 2 on 1 drills where I'm taking the guy down. I'm not teaching some fancy kung fu move. I'm getting away and I'm going to my bat belt. For a civilian, it would be runaway. For a cop, it could be runaway. But it's like, oh shit, boom, boom, and then I'm getting out of the way. Chances are I'm going to get cut. I don't teach a lot of different angles, and like if he comes in on a same difference, but I'm going to come in, boom, and then I'm going to wrap up. And as you can see, now he can start slicing on my back. I'm wearing a vest, but I can take a lot on these big lat muscles while I, give something back, boom, to go to my bat belt. That's about the extent of knife that I teach, because it's never going to be pretty. Do you have anything you want to show?
Yeah, so I teach some pretty similar stuff. Before we get into the edge weapon, everything that Kurt just said apply. It's going to be in close distance. Catching up is a big aspect of it. I may not realize there's a knife in play initially.
Krav is very smart that way.
Yes.
A lot of generic stuff that works for everyone.
Yeah, so for example, one of the things that Krav Maga teaches against a low hand attack, an empty hand attack, is this low block, right? Not the best way to defend an empty hand attack, but if we add a knife into the mix, it becomes more applicable. So what Krav likes to do is they refer to a stack. And one technique, they'll pick a technique that's less effective overall, but effective against multiple things.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, so that's an idea. So one of the things that I really like to think about the knife is I don't win the knife fight. I don't win this fight at all. I have to either get away or I have to change the fight. And I need to control distance, because this is a limited distance weapon, right? It works at very close. It works really well at medium and close range. It doesn't work very well far away, obviously. But if you can't get far away, the other way I have to control the distance is I have to control all the way up to it, and I have to hug it. So a 2 on 1, however we get there. And I have to not die, or at least not die right away, getting there. So one of the things I like to do is I like to attack. So my knife stuff is a little more aggressive than that. So if the attack comes on, I'm going to be here and I'm going to try to dive in, creating some kind of frame, and I'm going to go into this person, typically. And once I go into this person, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to be here. It's aggressive. Now I'm going to press all the way, and I'm going to start wrapping this down. I will never be able to control a wrist. If they've got a sleeve or something I can grab, think like jiu-jitsu stuff, I might be able to control it here. I'm not going to be able to control the wrist in this space. So if I find myself in an empty hand situation, I have to control all the way up, but I can control this weapon out behind Kurt because he's not very strong biomechanically in this position. So one of the things that I'm going to do if I'm here and I recognize that I'm going to defend, drive in, drive out, and now turn. Now, I'm going to lose this position, but that's fine because now I'm disengaging. That's just one way I would do it. If it's an overhand or a high level attack, it doesn't change very much for me. I'm very much in. Very similar to my instinct-based, my flinch-based response tactics. I'm this way. Traditional Krav teaches this. Actually this. I defend and a punch. I defend and I punch, I defend and I punch.
Ironically, Wing Chun is strike block at the same time. It's very effective if you train it.
It is. I've never been really good at making that work in my own training. So I do what I did to Kurt. I apologize for that early. I tend to go here with this forearm smash into the neckline. One of the things that's beneficial for me when it happens is I'm not aiming as much. I'm not really aiming where it is. I'm mostly going center line, and I'm just trying to create this wall or this frame out here, making this defense, and then collapsing in. I'm collapsing that space. Now, he might hand transition. That's all types of things that can be in a ground
fight. Can we address that really quick?
Yeah.
Because I've had people do that where I'm teaching and I'm like going to have the knife, and I'm out here and so I'm talking, I'm teaching, and then the guy reaches in and starts stabbing me with it. I was like, I've never, out of all the videos I've seen of knife attacks, and I start out in corrections and I saw lots of blade or edged weapon attacks, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody like knife. Now, and if they do that, they're a pretty high trained individual probably. I've never seen it. Have you seen anything or heard of anything like that? I'm not saying it can't be done.
Yeah, I have, but it only, I've seen a couple videos where it happens, but it always happens in a very specific, or at least the ones I've seen happen in a very specific context. That would be, we both engage in a grapple for the night. So one of the things that happens is this happens, and now I start fighting these hands, and we're both going. Particularly if this is somebody who's grabbing more, like on the knife, kind of thing like a desperate move, and I'm here, and now we start fighting. I've seen this happen in a couple videos, but almost always incidental. It didn't really appear intentional. It's we're both fighting over the knife, and I lose control of it, I regain control of it, now it's in my own hand.
And I think it has a lot to do with anyone who's been in a combat situation or some kind of, your vision narrows, it's gross motor skills. Unless you just are a ninja and train in those contexts, I just don't see people pulling that off.
It's a very similar thing that happens is there's a few times when you see in videos where the defender who's getting attacked will do something like this. And they'll grab this shirt. Usually it's a shirt, and they'll be here. And you'll look at them and you'll be like, just leave, right?
Yeah.
I can just leave in this context. But my adrenaline is going, my frontal cortex is shut down, I can't rationally think. I'm at a little lizard survival mode, and I can't let go.
Yeah.
Is that
grab
wrong?
the wrist again?
Yeah.
This would be a good time if I was like ninja.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it.
Yeah, that doesn't happen because when you are fighting for your life,
I'm in
because
lizard
now
mode too.
you're in lizard mode too, it's very hard for him to let go. So the only time I've ever seen it happen is when it slows down.
Yeah.
It's usually grapple on the ground.
Like you said, we're both
fighting
over
we're
the
both
knife.
here, right? We're both here fighting for the knife.
And then I might
When it
I'm
happens.
going to go for the knife this way or something like that.
And then it comes out. So I've seen that.
You see that over a gun more. It's just
Yes, I've seen that. But standing and like in a dynamic back and forth, I've never seen it in transition. I've only ever seen it transition grappling on the ground with something slowed down. So it's just context. Context matters.
No, I appreciate it. We've never covered knives per se, and
Mhm.
maybe we'll do some gun takeaway shit later on
Yeah.
or another day. But
So just I'll break down my principles for knives real quick. I need to defend. I need to attack. I need to get this person thinking about something other than stabbing me. I need to control this space, and I need to get to the outside, whether that's here, whether that's here. I don't want to be in front of this fight anymore, because now I'm in a knife fight. So I'm going to be to the outside. I typically teach a lot of like arm drag style stuff and disengaging, but again, I need to defend, I need to attack somehow, and I need to control, which means controlling the distance, controlling this weapon arm, however it is, and then I need to make my transition, whether that's transitioning to the outside, transitioning to a takedown. The mentality I like to teach when we come with a knife defense is I'm like a cat in a bathtub. You can imagine trying to give a cat in a bathtub. I'm going to go every direction I can to get away from this knife. And if you cut off all of my avenues of escape, I'm going to go through you. And that's my mentality. So a lot of times in my training, I'll charge because I am going through you because my only exit is behind.
I don't think people expect that. They feel powerful because they have the knife.
Yeah.
But one thing I think we both agree on, that it's always best to be on the outside.
Yeah, it's always best to be on the outside.
The inside. Although it's still better to be on the inside and right up on them.
Yeah, I have to throw space. We say it a lot in martial arts all the time. All the way in, all the way out. And it never applies anymore with knife. I'm all the way out here. At this point, I'm usually taking an opportunity to look for my exits, my improvised weapons. If I can't do that, I need to be all the way in. Now, if you get here, one of the biggest problems I see is I have to stop thinking about this as a knife fight. I'm still in escape mode. I'm not fighting for the knife. I don't need to win, right? I'm not trying to win a knife fight with some big throw or some cool takeaway or some awesome strike.
That was hard for me to get over because my Hapkido background was always trying to take the knife. Not always necessary to do, especially in police.
Yes. It's very hard. It was very hard for me too from like a sport fighting because as soon as I get here, I'm fighting to win. I want to win the position, right? I want to get here. I want to get the body lock. I want to take you down. I don't need to win. And that, in training, that got me stabbed a lot.
It's not that you couldn't manage with a wrist takedown or something.
Sure.
It happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've done it to me in training.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would call it in crowd, they call it the
Cavalier.
Yeah, wrist locks.
A wrist lock takedown, the takeaways. I've done takeaways in training. I've made them work. It's just a percentage and probability of things. If I can escape, my escapes were a lot better. And this goes down to training methodologies. If I'm always training, boom, 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 boom. If this is the end point of all of my training, I'm going to think this is the end point of all of my knife engagements, right? You should train disengaging. You should have a drill where there's like a safe zone, where like I touch the bag, I'm safe. And then you can do a live drill where like he's trying to stab me, and my goal is to disengage and touch this drill. Now I'm safe.
We do those drills all the time.
Yeah.
I think we showed it on video where I'm closed eyes and you attack and I'm trying to get past you.
Yeah. So it's just training the right mentality is important. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right, thanks a lot.